Welcome to Flags and Facts Journey, where every flag tells a story. Today we begin a journey from the snow-dusted Alps to the sun-kissed shores of Sicily, a land where empires rose, art was reborn, and beauty lives in every stone and melody. This is Italy, a nation of timeless wonders, passion and elegance woven into a single tricolor. From the snow-dusted Alps to the sun-kissed shores of Sicily, Italy is a land where history and beauty intertwine. Once the heart of the Roman Empire and the beacon of the Renaissance, its tricolor flag, green, white and red, flies over vine-clad hills, ancient ruins, and bustling piazzas. Italy covers about 301,340 square kilometers and is home to nearly 59 million people. Its capital, Rome, the Eternal City, is a living museum of antiquity and faith. As a developed nation with an advanced economy, Italy ranks among the world's largest economies. It is a founding member of the European Union and the G7, famous for art, music, literature, fashion, and cuisine. Boasting about 60 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Italy is one of the most visited countries on Earth, a place where every alley tells a story. Italy is a boot-shaped peninsula extending into the Mediterranean Sea, bordered by the Alps in the north and surrounded by over 800 islands, with Sicily and Sardinia being the largest. It shares land borders with France, Switzerland, Austria and Slovenia, and even encloses the microstates of Vatican City and San Marino. Mountains really dominate the landscape here. The Alps form the northern frontier, and Italy's highest point is Mont Blanc at 4,810 meters. The Apennines, meanwhile, run down the spine of the peninsula. Between these peaks there are fertile plains like the Po Valley in the north, and the sun-baked plains of Lazio and Campania in the center and south. Italy's climate is, honestly, quite diverse. You've got alpine snow on the northern peaks, and Mediterranean warmth along the coastal plains. This mix fosters lush forests, olive groves and vineyards that really shape the Italian countryside. Italy's varied terrain supports a rich biodiversity. Alpine ibex and chamois roam the high slopes of the Alps, while brown bears and wolves still survive in the wilds of the Apennines. In the Mediterranean waters, dolphins and loggerhead turtles share the sea, and Sardinian goatherds and flamingos can be found in coastal lagoons like Orbitello. The long coastline stretching over 8,000 kilometers, along with Italy's central Mediterranean location, makes the country a sort of corridor for species coming from Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. National parks like Dolomiti Bellunesi and Stelvio, protect a variety of habitats from alpine meadows and conifer forests to garrigue shrubland. These parks offer breathtaking vistas and, honestly, the unmistakable call of nature. Italy's roots, well, they run really deep. The ancient Romans built an empire that surrounded the Mediterranean, leaving behind a legacy of ruins such as the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and the Pantheon in Rome. With the spread of Christianity, Rome also became the seat of the Catholic Church and the Papal States. Centuries later, the Italian Renaissance ignited in city-states like Florence and Venice, producing masters like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Botticelli. These eras of glory, honestly, are still visible in Italy's art, architecture, and faith. Today, Italy is a secular republic since 1946, but Catholicism remains influential. About 80% of Italians identify as Catholic, and historic cathedrals and basilicas dot pretty much every city. Yet, Italy's spirit honors all beliefs. Ancient temples sit near medieval churches and synagogues in cities like Rome and Venice, reflecting a real legacy of tolerance. The official language is Italian, a Romance language that evolved from Latin. Local dialects and minority languages like German in South Tyrol, French in Aosta Valley, and Slovene in Trieste add to the linguistic tapestry. Italians are, famous for their cultural flair. Italy has long been a global center of art, music, literature, cuisine, and fashion. Classic Italian opera like Verdi and Puccini, Renaissance literature such as Dante's Divine Comedy, and famous inventors, think Galileo's telescope and Volta's battery, all sprang from here. Everyday life also sparkles with culture-elegant Milanese tailors, Tuscan winemaking traditions, Venetian glassblowing, and vibrant festivals. Traditional clothing, like the regional costume, is rare today, but Italian style definitely lives on in world-class fashion brands and in the effortless chic of everyday dress. Savoring Italian culture also means tasting its famous cuisine. Picture a plate of pasta al pomodoro, a Neapolitan margherita pizza, or a scoop of creamy gelato on a summer afternoon. Regional specialties abound. Risotto in Lombardy, ragu in Bologna, mozzarella in Campania, olive oil and pesto in Liguria, espresso coffee rituals, balsamic vinegars and wines like Chianti, Barolo and Prosecco, well, they really complete the picture. Italians love to gather over food, turning a simple meal into family feasts and lively conversation. Italy's calendar is just packed with religious and national celebrations. Christmas, or Natale, and Easter, known as Pasqua, are marked by midnight masses, family dinners, and these centuries-old church ceremonies that really bring people together. Ferragosto, which falls on August 15th, is a national holiday when Italians, well, they flock to the beaches and mountains for a bit of summer escape. Italy also honors its secular history. Republic Day on June 2nd commemorates the 1946 referendum, which was basically the birth of the Italian Republic. And you know, every town has its own patron saint feast, complete with processions and, of course, fireworks lighting up the night. And Italy just loves a spectacle. Think about the masked pageantry of Venice's carnival, Siena's fiery horse race called the Palio, or even Florence's historical regattas. These events really, they're a vibrant part of Italian life. Sport is truly a national passion in Italy. Football, or soccer as some call it, really reigns supreme. The Azzurri, which is Italy's national team, are honestly among history's greats, having won the FIFA World Cup 4 times in 1934, 1938, 1982, and 2006. Legendary players like Paolo Maldini and Roberto Baggio are beloved figures, and their names are still spoken with so much pride. Italy also excels in motorsport. Yeah, the Ferrari racing team is just iconic, and its drivers like Alberto Ascari, a 2-time Formula One champion, have definitely made history. Cycling is pretty big too. The Giro d'Italia is one of the sport's grand tours, and Italians like Fausto Coppi once dominated the scene. In winter sports, Italy has hosted the Winter Olympics in Cortina in 1956, and in Turin in 2006, and the country has produced champions in skiing. Even more humble sports, from volleyball to fencing, boast Olympic medals. In Italy, lively streets, piazzas, and cafes erupt in cheers whenever champions compete. Italy has a highly developed mixed economy that's dominated by services, but there's also a really strong manufacturing sector. It's actually the second largest in Europe. Italy is the third largest economy in the European Union, and the 8th largest in the world by nominal GDP. Italian industry is famous for luxury cars like Ferrari and Lamborghini, high-fashion brands such as Gucci and Prada, and high-quality machinery. Small and medium enterprises are the backbone of its industrial districts. Think textiles in Prato shoes and Marche Electronics in Turin. These businesses keep Italy's economy vibrant and innovative. Agriculture remains vital too. Italy produces world-famous wines, cheeses, olives, and citrus fruits, thanks to its fertile plains and mild climate. Tourism is a major economic engine, with millions visiting Rome, Venice, Florence, and the coasts each year. Italy faces challenges. Aging population and public debt are often mentioned, but it is also a land of innovation and craftsmanship. Startups bloom in cities like Milan and Bologna, and Italy invests in green energy, with solar farms in Puglia and geothermal in Tuscany. Initiatives like high-speed trains known as Frecciarossa and sustainable fashion aim to keep Italy dynamic. Overall, Italy's economy blends tradition and modernity, exporting style and quality worldwide. Travel in Italy is a journey through human history. Rome's layers span 2,500 years. The Colosseum and Forum stand amid Renaissance churches, and Vatican City, the Catholic Church's headquarters, adds majesty with St. Peter's Basilica and the Sistine Chapel. UNESCO notes, Rome was the center of the Roman Empire, home to a large number of major monuments of antiquity including the Colosseum, Pantheon, and Roman Forum. In Tuscany, medieval Siena and Renaissance Florence with Brunelleschi's Duomo and the Uffizi Gallery showcase Italy's art. Venice, built on lagoons, was a seafaring superpower. UNESCO describes Venice and its lagoon as, quote, a major maritime power founded in the 5th century, and, St. Mark's Basilica and the Grand Canal are honestly like living paintings. Up north, the Alpine lakes, Como and Garda, and the Dolomite peaks attract hikers all year round. Heading south, the ruins of Pompeii lie in Vesuvius's shadow, while the Amalfi Coast's cliffside villages draw summer crowds. Pisa's Piazza dei Miracoli, with its medieval cathedral complex and leaning tower, is an iconic stop. Each region really has its own charm: the rolling vineyards of Langhe, the rocky coastline of Cinque Terre, and even Sicily's Baroque towns like Noto and Ragusa. The sheer number of UNESCO sites, Italy has 61, actually the most in the world, means every corner has something to admire, from prehistoric petroglyphs in Val Camonica to fairy tale castles and Roman baths. Italians have long been, innovators and thinkers. The University of Bologna, founded in 1088, is among the world's oldest. Renaissance polymaths like Leonardo da Vinci advanced art and engineering. Galileo Galilei revolutionized astronomy. Volta gave us the electric battery. And Fermi, along with others, led nuclear research. Great authors, Dante, Petrarch, Machiavelli, shaped literature and philosophy. Today, Italy's universities and research institutes continue this tradition, from medical science to robotics. This legacy of inquiry and creativity lives on in museums, libraries, and tech hubs, reminding visitors that Italy's contribution to knowledge is as rich as its art. Italy's national flag, the famous tricolor, has 3 vertical stripes of equal width: green at the hoist, white, and red. This design dates back to the year 1797 and was officially adopted after Italian unification. Legend ties meaning to the colors. Green symbolizes hope, white stands for faith, and red represents charity or love. Other interpretations connect green to Italy's hills, white to the Alpine snows, and red to the blood of patriots. Whatever the meaning, the flag is revered as a symbol of unity. When Italians say Viva l'Italia, which means long live Italy, they often place a hand over the heart or tearfully embrace the tricolor, reminding us that Italy is more than a map. It's a story of art, faith, sacrifice, and enduring pride under one banner. Thank you for joining us on this Flags and Facts journey. If the story of Italy inspired your soul, its history, art, and enduring pride, like, share, and subscribe to explore more nations through the flags they fly. One flag, one nation, one story.